In this video, we're finding out why millionaires are moving to Italy. So let's go.
Lake view, nature, silence, peace, real Lake Como vibes.
Italy, a longtime favorite of the rich and famous, from Roman emperors to Hollywood stars.
You have the seaside, you have the mountains, you have the Alps, the wine, the food, all of this.
But now, a new wave of the uber-wealthy is relocating to the European country, looking to take advantage of its investor-friendly environment, thriving real estate market, and low-tax regime.
I actually went to Lake Como myself a few years ago, but my experience was not the best. We went to Nesso, though, so it might honestly not have been the best place to visit for us because we also didn't have a car there, and you can't really get around without it. At least there weren't any supermarkets in Nassau itself. There was finally we found one on top of the mountain, one small supermarket. So we were not starving, but our experience was quite bad. And I might see how if you go to Bellagio, I probably am mispronouncing that, but it might be a better experience there. But our time there was quite miserable, and we were kind of waiting to go back home because of different factors. But just things from the host of the Airbnb telling us that, yeah, we might struggle to get away from Nassau again and go to the airport because we had scheduled a taxi, and she was like, well, they might not show up and you might miss your flight and this and that. And so we were kind of wary already. And then it was just a weird vibe in general. Nothing really going on over there. I get the vibe that it might be more of a place that you just go see that bridge, that famous bridge that is there, and then you kind of leave again. But we didn't know that before coming there, and we did look on Google Maps if there were supermarkets there and restaurants, stuff like that, and it seemed like there was. But then we got there, and the supermarket was literally someone's, what do you call it in English? Just the inventory in their home. What someone would have in their cabinets might be more than what was there. And it was literally a home with some random things that they had. I don't know, it was just such a weird experience that we had. But anyways.
Italy's set to welcome an estimated 3,600 high net worth individuals to the country, and this will have huge economic implications, with estimates suggesting they could bring with them $21 billion in private capital.
Although this kind of data is notoriously difficult to track, investment migration consultancy Henley & Partners estimates that in just 3 years, Italy has climbed the global rankings as a top destination for the wealthy, rising from number 11 in 2023 to 6 in 2024, and now 3rd in 2025, overtaking longtime favorites like Singapore, Australia, and Switzerland.
The defining point of that is that there's a flat rate tax.
As many countries clamp down on the super rich, Italy has emerged as the top relocation destination in Europe. And that's impacting everything from the business landscape to the housing market. So why is Italy attracting so many millionaires and billionaires? And could other countries follow its lead?
Italy's centre-left government back in 2017 introduced a new €100,000 flat tax regime to entice wealthy individuals, investors and entrepreneurs to move to the country. Now, this was in something of a heyday of citizenship by investment schemes, with the likes of Portugal and Switzerland also looking for new ways to attract the ultra-wealthy.
In 2024, the government doubled.
So I guess they want to strengthen their economy, maybe by bringing in more millionaires. Because I think I heard that quite a few people are leaving Italy, like the locals, because of the situation there, and that the job opportunities aren't that good. So I wonder if this is their way to kind of try to reinforce their economy. But maybe they'll say more about it.
Its flat tax to €200,000 for new arrivals after public criticism over the scheme, with Economy Minister Giancarlo Giorgetti saying he didn't want Italy to be in a race to offer fiscal favors to the rich. The country remains a magnet for those who would be taxed far more heavily elsewhere.
They operate at a wealth level which is still way above 200,000 per year flat taxation. So it's like saying, oh, you're paying your coffee now, today is €2, tomorrow is going to be €4. You're not going to give up on your coffee.
The doubling of the flat tax did little to suppress demand, but it did double government coffers.
The people that are coming to us are telling us that the main driving force behind the relocation is inevitably tax.
Millionaires have been migrating in droves to new residences. Over the past 10 years, the number of high net worth individuals relocating abroad has almost tripled, reaching record highs in 2024, and the trend is set to continue in 2025 and 2026.
I wonder where most of the millionaires come from that move to Italy. If it's mostly Americans, people from the UK. If you know, then let me know.
Many other countries have been clamping down on the uber wealthy in an attempt to combat perceived inequality and also boost stretched public budgets. So for instance, in France, they have been deliberating expanding the wealth tax. In Switzerland, for example, they're also weighing introducing new changes to inheritance tax. But perhaps the biggest change came in April 2025 under the UK's Labour government, when they abolished their 200-year-old non-dom tax regime.
Until recently, a UK resident with a permanent tax home abroad only had to pay UK tax on money earned in the country, meaning money made elsewhere in the world was untaxed by the British government for up to 15 years. That's now been replaced.
I didn't know that was a thing. I get why they might want to move.
By a new residency scheme, which the government says will generate £12.7 billion over the next 5 years.
Critics have questioned that, and they have said that these outflows of wealth are going to impact the UK's economy and also suppress that all-important investment and high spending.
There are countries literally around the world who are coming to us and saying, we want the UK's millionaires and billionaires. What can we do? How can we bring them to our country?
More countries are now offering citizenship and residence by investment programs. Between 1980 and 2022, the number of CBI and RBI schemes has seen a fourfold increase, led by Caribbean countries like Grenada and Antigua, as well as Malta and Turkey.
Residence by investment is essentially a legal process by which countries will grant residence to foreign individuals in exchange for financial contributions. So that might be tax payments, it might be real estate purchases, or other investments.
The programs that we offer range from a few thousand up to $8-9 million. We've dealt with Americans, we've dealt with Brits, we've dealt with Middle Easterns. The last statistic we saw that we had inquiries from 148 nationalities.
Italy introduced its flat tax system as part of a bigger push to attract...
So I guess it's a lot of different nationalities who are moving.
Foreign investors. It was also hoping to encourage homegrown talent and their money to return to the country, especially after the economic challenges of the European debt crisis.
So Italy's flat tax regime will exempt individuals from their foreign income and gains and overseas, and they'll only be subject to pay Italian tax on locally earned income. Now, part of the beauty of Italy's regime is its simplicity. Unlike in other countries where they're expected to meet other stringent requirements, other investment requirements, this is just a one-off annual fee. You just need to move your tax domicile to Italy, which is easy enough for EU residents.
Anna Cipriani was among those incentivized to return to Italy.
My great-grandfather, Giuseppe Cipriani, opened the doors of Harry's Bar, which also became the famous place because it's where he created also the Bellini cocktail and the Carpaccio dish.
Harry's Bar was originally founded in Venice in 1931, but over nearly a century, the business expanded into a global hotel and leisure group with a larger footprint outside Italy than within it. Anna Cipriani had been living in the US to oversee the launch of its Casa Cipriani Members Club in New York. But
I didn't think about that. This could also mean people born in Italy moving back to Italy. So that might be a smart thing that they're doing to, make the requirements and all of that as low as possible so that people will start coming there. But I wonder what the impacts of that will be on the economy in total and the local people already there. I don't know.
2022, the group chose to return to Italy for its next destination, creating a hub for business people and entrepreneurs in Milan.
We wanted to build a place where a person could spend their full day. So we have the entertainment spaces, the restaurants, the spa and wellness facilities, the gym for the workout. We really thought it was the good time to come back to Italy. Milan did evolve a lot over the years. Before, it used to be known more for its industrial character and, of course, the fashion houses. While over the last few years, it became more attractive also for creatives, for investors, and for international crowd. And then, of course, we had the tax incentives.
Since 2016, Italy has adopted investment-friendly policies through its Industria 4.0 plan, later renamed Transition 5.0, a framework designed to encourage businesses to invest in key sectors like digital and green infrastructure in exchange for tax credits and depreciation incentives.
They are moving to town, but they're also investing, not only in Milan,
Well, I guess that's a good thing when they're also investing back into the local economy.
In Italy in general.
So, what are the most popular destinations for the wealthy in Italy? Sought-after regions include Tuscany and the Italian Riviera. Cities like Rome, Venice, Florence, and Bologna are also popular. And unsurprisingly, Milan remains a favorite amongst millionaires and billionaires due to its role as Italy's financial hub and close links to Lake Como.
Most of the celebrity of Lake Como started back in the early 2000s when Las Vegas opened up the Bellagio Hotel. It's being inspired by this tiny village. We are at all-time high prices at the moment. In 5 years, we had an increase in double-digit percentage, while for the upcoming years, we're probably gonna look at a steady 3 to 4% type of increase here in Lake Como.
And less than an hour away, Milan's real estate is experiencing its own surge. Property prices in Milan have risen 49% since the flat tax was introduced in 2017, compared to 10.9% across the rest of Italy's big cities, according to real estate group Tecnocasa. And global property consultancy Knight Frank expects the city's prime real estate market to record a further 3.5% price growth in 2025.
It's about those who can.
That seems like it changed a lot, right? That seems like a lot of added money.
Afford, even because prices are not necessarily done to a strict market logic as an investment. They like a property with their guts. Then they do a little bit of math, of course, but they're ready to spend and sometimes to overspend just to secure a one-of-a-kind view or a one-of-a-kind position. When Italy came out with a 100,000 flat tax opportunity, people began considering even more Italy as a logic B plan for their relocation or asset protection or tax optimization process.
Yeah, I guess for these millionaires, it doesn't matter how much the prices have gone up because they can probably still pay it. But for other people, it might not be the case. So then, are they driving away, for example, the locals in Milan to other places around Italy? Or, yeah, how does that work? Do you know?
So, how is this wealth impacting local life? While luxury lifestyles can
She's just, I asked a question and she's answering it.
sometimes seem removed from the everyday, Jeff Bezos' wedding in Venice, for example, is estimated to have added $1.1 billion to the city's economy.
The increased activity in finance, private equity, hospitality, and other services have of course created local jobs. But then there's been the impact on housing prices, which has priced out many locals, particularly as wages have struggled to keep up. That of course adds to existing wealth inequalities, and there's particular concern that much of the wealth is concentrated in specific areas and it doesn't filter down around the rest of the country.
It's kind of a wheel, that keeps rolling. So you have all these people moving in and you have all this hotel opening and you have more and more people that then decide to come to town because now they think about it more. It's also proven that when you have a lot of investments into a city, it does boost the economy, creates more job opportunities also for the people.
We are seeing other countries considering similar schemes. Greece back in 2019 introduced its own €100,000 flat tax regime, but it also requires an additional €500,000 investment as well in property or local equities, etc. Even in the UK, lobbyists are also pushing for a similar Italian-style flat tax regime, but it does of course raise concerns about this kind of race to the bottom and an erosion of the tax base.
However, it's important to note that rich people moving to Italy under this regime are under no obligation to invest in the country, a move that the Italian Court of Auditors has warned could turn Italy into a tax haven.
Receipts from Italy's flat tax regime have brought in hundreds of millions of euros, but while helpful, this really is just a drop in the ocean versus Italy's deficit and public debt. For as long as it...
I thought it was a requirement. I thought they had said that. But apparently not. So they choose voluntarily if they do it. Because I wonder how many people will actually do it then.
does stay more attractive than some other countries' regimes, Italy does look like it will continue to attract a small but lucrative cohort of the wealthy.
So, yeah. I wonder what the net positive is then because it seems like they are creating more job opportunities and they're investing into the local economy, but then at the same time, the prices are going up for the locals in terms of the real estate. So I wonder what the net will be, the net profit, if you will, on this whole scheme and what the long-term consequences will end up being.